Hey guys! So, I just checked my calendar and I realized that I haven't posted in about a month. So, I kind of just wanted to take you guys on this walk with me and talk about, I guess, protection in like a hair sense and like a physical and mental sense too, because it's really been quite a month. So, I think I'm just gonna do like a little walk and talk while I'm out here in the forest because there's really no one out here and I can project and like just, connect with you guys. So, let's do this. Hey guys, okay, so for starters, I just wanted to say that I have been like staying to myself for the past month just because of everything that's going on. I feel like 2020's thrown a lot at us, but like tossing systemic racism on top of it has really just been the most draining part, so I had to take a break. But I'm back. So first I wanted to talk about protection in like a physical sense, like, I don't know, looking at ways to either keep yourself active or to like maintain physical wellness while you're doing certain activities. So I guess one thing that I've been doing recently is trying to walk at least 30 minutes a day. It sounds like really short. Like I feel like on campus we've walked so much more, but it's like in quarantine it's like hard to motivate yourself to like get up and like walk around. Especially since we were quarantining for about 3 months. So I just wanted to say that like you kind of like have like a log or like kind of keep like something written that can like possibly like hold yourself accountable. So for me, like personally, before this week, it's been pretty hard to like actually like get up out of bed and go out and move because I'd either like wake up too late and like not feel like it, or I'd wake up in time but like I'd just sit in my bed and like be on my phone or watch a show and like forget about it. So one thing that I started doing was that I bought this journal. It's just something for me to like write down like my goals for the week and kind of hold myself accountable in that sense. So what I've been doing is like writing down like, work out 30 minutes a day, go walking, wake up before 10 o'clock because that's actually been a struggle for me too. And I've just kept a log of that just so that I can hold myself accountable in a way that like wouldn't stress me out, but also wouldn't, I couldn't like just throw it aside or whatever. Another thing that's actually, it's easy to forget little things that like contribute to your physical wellness, because one thing I've also forgotten to do until as of recent as well is like drinking water. So I actually have like my little water bottle right here. During quarantine we were actually like, we had the stay-at-home orders in place. I found it really difficult to actually stay hydrated, and it's kind of like important to stay hydrated not only in like a hair sense, because we all know keeping your body hydrated makes it easier for you to stay moisturized. In like a physical wellness sense, you feel a lot better when you're hydrated. So one thing I also recommend is like making sure that you set like a goal for yourself, like how much water you want to drink a day. Like for me, I try and stay in between like 2 and 3 liters each day, just because like aside from knowing that like a certain amount of water each day allows your hair to like exceed what it could without water, but like also in a physical wellness sense, you'll just feel a lot better. You'll feel more motivated to like work out because you'll be hydrated. Like in this heat, I swear if I did not have this, I would not be out here. Like, so I don't know, just like maintaining a balance is really good. And I guess my last point about like maybe not physical wellness but about protecting yourself physically would be to kind of conceal your face while you're protesting. Even if you're not out protesting, like tell your friends who are to make sure that they cover their face, just because like a lot of times like protesters who don't conceal their identity, just there's horrible things that could happen to them after the day of the protests, which we've seen before. And so one thing that I'd also advise is that if you're out protesting, not only cover your face because of COVID-19, but also make sure that your identity is concealed and that there's no like photos of you circulating on like Twitter, Instagram, just to protect yourself as well. So that was just like a talk about like physical wellness, but I also wanted to talk about mentally protecting yourself as well, because even though school's over, I know people could be working, people could be doing like summer class, and I know it's hard to maintain also like your mental health as well, like if you're so focused on so many different things. I'm sorry, I might look like I'm off balance, but I'm like actually just like walking on this log. But like one thing that you also should probably focus on is maintaining like your mental health as well in a situation like this, because COVID really had us inside for about 3 months. And then with all of this racial tension, systemic racism circulating around, it's really hard to like always feel happy, obviously, especially if you're doing other things that may be kind of draining, like school or working or research. So one thing I would just advise is like also like maybe getting like a journal and like writing, because like getting a journal really like helps like put your thoughts into words, because right now it might seem like really jumbled or like really just even hard to articulate, but like putting it into words and like directing your feelings onto paper rather than like projecting it on someone else or like just keeping them bottled in can really just help the way you feel. So I don't know, I'd really like, I have a journal, and I mean I don't really use it to write down like the way I feel or whatever, but sometimes I write like things I've done during the day to like feel accomplished. If I feel like I haven't gotten much done, like writing it out can really show you like, hey, I really did do a lot today, and I should be proud of myself, not beating myself up about like little things like, oh, I didn't read an entire book or something. Like, I don't know, just keeping a log of like things you do might also help as well. So I guess the last mental health tip that I'd like suggest before I go into the actual hair protection would probably be to get creative. It's really easy to like fall into a trap of like, I'm not getting anything accomplished, or I feel really like stagnant in my life right now. But like doing things you like writing songs, painting, drawing, all different types of like art forms that like you might feel inclined to do can really make you feel a lot better just by expressing yourself, and also like working on a project that can make you feel like you've accomplished something during your day. So yeah, if you feel like you have like some sort of creative touch, or even if you don't, like just like work on something that you enjoy, and it'll really make you feel better. Like honestly, like I'm not much of a painter or anything either, but like I've painted things while I was inside for quarantine. Like I've drawn. I have yet to like write a song to match Lonnie, but I'll probably work on that later, because it just makes you feel like, even if it's like not academic, not like it's not like directed at like ending racial injustice, you could really get something done that you love. So this last bit will actually be about protection in the hair sense, and I kind of just wanted to make this video just because I do have a lot of friends who either have not protective styled before or have not done it on themselves before, and quarantine has like bring out that desire to like learn themselves. So one thing that I wanted to say about protective styling is that, one, make sure that the root is not too tight, and that's just because a lot of times you may not not feel like it's doing too much at first, but like later on you might get bumps around it, you might get like redness on your scalp and things like that, and that like kind of can like defeat the purpose of getting a protective style, because it kind of hinders the growth. So one thing that I would suggest is that when you do a protective style, like even if you're not doing it on yourself, like if you're going to like a hairdresser or someone else, like ask them, oh, can you like not do the roots too tight, or loosen it up just a bit, just because you don't want to like defeat the purpose of getting a protective style, and like actually do the opposite of protecting your hair. So that's my number one tip. Another tip that I have for protective styling would also be, I guess this goes hand in hand with my last tip, but it would be to make sure that you keep your edges out, just because you don't want to tug on the front of your hair and like either destroy your hairline or rip out like the very finest hair that's on your head, which is at the very edge around your temple. So I would say like make sure you pull out your edges before you do a protective style, just so that they don't get caught in and like possibly ripped out, because those are probably the finest hairs that are on your head, honestly, at the very front. So that's one thing I'd also say, is to keep your edges out of your protective style. And I guess my last tip for protecting your hair in a protective style would be to make sure to moisturize your hair while it's in the style. I feel like a lot of times people forget that like the hair under it still needs to be tended to while it's in a protective style. And although like braids or twists or faux locks or whatever protective style you get can make it a lot easier to protect your hair, or to like maintain it, it's still like your job to make sure that it's still moisturized. So you can do things like oil your scalp, find the area, like you can see here that like I know exactly where my hair is, so once you get to that point where you know where your hair is, you can put oils, or like, you know, you could possibly put creams too on that part just to make sure that the end of your hair is still moisturized. You can use castor oil on your roots to make sure that your hair maintains its thickness or gets thicker while it's in a protective style. So I feel like even though protective styling is great for maintenance and it makes it a lot easier, it's still your responsibility to care for your hair while it's in that style, and while you're, you know, working towards either growing your hair or just maintaining it for the time being. So yeah, so that is all I have on like physical, mental, and, you know, hair protection. And I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I kind of put it together just, you know, it's more for the time that we're in right now that this would be like the most helpful, but also just to check in with you guys and make sure that, you know, the people who are following me and supporting me are feeling like they're not alone in this situation, in order to like look to something that they can refer to like escape feeling a certain way. Because I know during quarantine I felt like I wasn't getting anything accomplished. The past month I wasn't recording any videos. You know, haven't taken summer courses yet. I will start in July. So I've just felt like this past month has been like, oh, I haven't done anything. But you should, you know, you should be proud of, you know, keeping your mental health in check, keeping your physical wellness in check as well during quarantine and during this time that we're in right now. So yeah.